Good afternoon, everybody. SoCalsabre Bill Thornton here. Today I'm going to do another unboxing of a game that I just received last Friday, and it's called Bleeding Kansas. This is an historical orientated game just prior to the Civil War. So let's get on the table and see what we got here. So we got a Bleeding Kansas with a lot of violence going on here in the box. But there was a lot of violence during this time. This is a game by John Poniski and published by Decision Games. I always do. I love to get when I get a hold of history, especially history that I knew nothing about, didn't learn in high school. I took American history, but they didn't teach us none of this stuff about what happened in the Civil War, especially this Bleeding Kansas thing. Let's turn over and take a look at the back. Okay, this is pretty basic of what the board's going to look like. I'll show you a little bit later. It says two players, 1 to 3 hours, ages 14 and up. I sent 2 videos over to my grandson about, and they're 2 short ones on YouTube. They're only about 4 to 5 minutes long. The one's called the Kansas-Nebrasek Act of 1854. The other one's called Bleeding Kansas. Gives you nice historical background content. And so I sent them to my grandson because I want to play this game with him, and I just want us to be able to deal with the thematic portion of the game, make it even much better. It says this is a 2-player game portraying the politics and violence in pre-statehood Kansas. The Kansas-Nebrasek Act of 1854 gave new territories the right to popular sovereignty, allowing residents to choose whether or not to allow slavery. And then within months, people came in from all over and all kinds of problems started. And, you know, it wasn't a good time in our history, but it was part of our history. And I don't believe in erasing our history. We need to look back at it and hopefully, if anything, learn from it. So the other thing that I do, as most of you know, is I always research a little bit more on the history when I'm doing a game with history in it. And I went out and picked up this one book by Nicole Exton called Bleeding Kansas: Contested Liberty in the Civil War Era. Looks like she did a lot of research on it. There's a heck of a lot of footnotes. Okay, let's take a look inside. We have a bag of blocks. We've got white, brown, blue, and some black ones. It's probably to differentiate between the political factions. And something else. Maybe your strengths for voting or something. I don't know. I'll have to read the book and find out. Okay, got to be honest with you. I had to open this box before because I was doing an unboxing of it, and then when I reviewed the video, it was just horrid. It was in there. So that's why the cards are not wrapped. Okay, you get 2 player aid cards. On the back it tells you all the different actions that you can take. Then you get all kinds of cards that have symbols on the top left corner that tell you what kind of actions you can take or can't take, or if you don't want to take. You got a lot of historical flavor text on the cards, like this one, Stephen Douglas, and it says, "Small in nature but a superb orator. The Illinois senator was known as the Little Giant. He authored the Kansas-Nebrasek Act, feeling that would lessen tensions between North and South and speed the development of a transcontinental railroad. His 1858 debates with Abraham Lincoln mesmerized the nation." So good stuff on here. Covers a lot of bad stuff too. So I'm really looking forward to getting to play this game with my grandson. Got 2 dice, 2 D6s. You can see not real counter heavy. Blue, different political factions. That's what it says on the politics And this says burn. As there was things burning down, and there's violence on the back. Unfortunately, it was there. We have the rule book, and on the back of it, I'll show you the front first. By Decision Games. In the back, it has setup and turn sequence. So you got a nice little player aid built right into the book, the back of the book. Okay, this only comes in 15 pages. And then we got some designer notes and optional rules. Sorry about that, guys. Designer notes and optional rules plus the front page. So we're probably looking at about 12 pages. But as you can see, there's a lot of picture and coloring in here. A lot of explanations of things and so forth. So the text is not very heavy in it. If I said 12, we're probably looking at 8 or 9 pages. See how it is? Good definition, explanations, I mean. Okay, text is okay. Okay, Bleeding Kansas. This is a like an historical book that they put together to include with the game. And it took a lot of time, and I appreciate that, to putting this stuff together. And it talks about like the age of compromise. It deals with certain specific actions. Okay, like on the right, whatever that means, Beecher's Bibles. I understand there was a lot of religious thoughts in some of their ways they thought back there. Hickory Wars, the sack of Lawrence. Okay, so deals into a lot. The Army in Bleeding Kansas, Long Hot Summer. Okay, I'm going to be really interested in reading that, and I'm really looking forward to playing this with my grandson. All right, let's take a look at the board. Let's get it out here and see what we can do to get it. Let's see what you can see. So what I got going on here, let me move a few things. Push this up a little further. Come in a little bit this way. See if I pull this up just a little hair, if it'll help us out some. Okay, as you can see, it's broke up into different areas, probably counties as we would call them nowadays. I don't know what they called them back then. And then they got the different things labeled on here, like the Fairway, the pro-slavery capital, the anti-slavery capital in Topeka. Then we got Lawrence, and we got things where John Brown's Potawatomi massacre. Yeah, it's the same John Brown that comes in at Harper's Ferry later on in the Civil War. Yeah, he was involved in here. So then, you know, probably going to be working for control. There's victory points there on the left side of the board, which you can't even see. Okay, well, it's over here, right here, if you can just barely see the edge of my finger. Then down here, we got steps we're going to be working through this year. This is 1854, and then we're going to do the 1854 election. Then the next area down, and we're going to come to another election, 1855, and we're going to go to another election, 1857 and 1859, and then finally the Civil War breaks out. Elections, I'm just thinking that's probably what you control and how many of the people you control. Sort of like a game like Twilight Struggle, if you have more, you know, things on, or the coin games, if you have more markers on there than the opponents, you probably control the state, and that probably affects your voting. So that's it. So go down there, please help me out. Hit the like button and subscribe. Push it out into your social media channels. And until we see each other again, or you hear from me, this is SoCalsabre saying, be kind to each other and Take care of yourselves. Be safe and social distance during this time of COVID.